Apollo Justice. Alright, welcome. We're back with more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. So let's go. We just finished episode 1, the introduction, Turnabout Trump, and now we're going into episode 2, the first proper case of Apollo Justice, Turnabout Corner. Let's go. As long as we draw breath, the wheel of fate turns. Spinning big crimes and little crimes together. And when the wheel stops, you die. June 15th, 9:12 a.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. 2 months have passed since Mr. Gavin's arrest. My first trial, and I lost both my mentor and my job. Yeah, I'll admit it. I was screwed. But even when I hit bottom, I told myself I'd never come here. Honest. Here being the legendary Wright & Co. Law Offices. Okay, Justice. Time to stop trembling. Ah, you must be here for the interview. Right this way. Uh-huh. Hello there. You found the right place. Welcome. What's with this girl? Well now, shall we begin? Begin what? Right, first things first. Any special talents? Talents? Yes, well, you must have at least one. Well, I guess... Defending? Defending. Not an unusual talent, but it'll do. With a little jazzing up, of course. Hello, welcome, thanks. Glad to have you here. You think so? Let's give it a go, shall we? Uh-huh. Go ahead, show me, defend. Just give it all you've got. Don't hold back now. What are you talking about? I can't just defend here. That office is, yes, it is a pretty cool office. First lesson, a professional can perform anywhere. Thanks. We want people to be laughing with us, not at us. Thanks. But I'm not sure why they should be laughing at all. What? What exactly do you think you came here to do? What? Defend? No? Excuse me, but do you know where you are? Huh? The Wright & Co. Law Offices, right? Oh. I was afraid of that. Don't worry. You're not the first. Look, what's going on here? Who are you? I came here to meet with the person in charge. Well, you've apparently made no fewer than 2 mistakes. Mistakes? But I got a call from Mr. Wright this morning. Perhaps you should go read the sign out front again? What's there to read? Look, it says right there. Oh. Why does it say Wright Talent Agency? Welcome to the Wright Talent Agency, where you've always come to the right place. I'm Trilogy Wright, CEO. I'm a magician. It all came flooding back. The trial, that girl. Hello, sir. Please pick a card. That's right. She's my daughter. Trilogy Wright. Here, check out our flyer. So, what's your name? Apollo Justice, attorney at law. Let's talk. Right, talent agency. So, is this really a talent agency? You bet. Daddy started it 7 years ago when he quit law. Of course, we only have 2 people signed up right now. 2 people. Does that include you? Tracy Wright, magician extraordinaire. I've done a lot of stage shows. Paid, too. I am a professional, you know. Right. How much will come to one of my shows, okay? Let's see. Oh, and the other person our agency represents is... Phoenix Wright, pianist extraordinaire. Your dad, in other words? Didn't he say he couldn't play the piano? Our agency doesn't see that as a problem. Why, there are many magicians who can't do magic. At least you're optimistic, I'll give you that. Michael, I do illusions. Tracy Wright. So you're you're Phoenix Wright's daughter? That's right. After Daddy quit law 7 years ago, I promised I would keep him fed. So I'm kind of his sugar daddy, get it? What? No. I'm in charge of this whole office, too. Pretty amazing for a young lass of 15, wouldn't you agree? They have no talent, they have no style, and they have no grace. 15? How old is Mr. Wright? Daddy? Oh, he's 33 this year. I'm sure there's a good explanation. I hope. Let's talk about Phoenix. About Mr. Wright giving up law. It was because of that incident 7 years ago, wasn't it? You know about that? Not the details. I remember the news, though. It was a big deal. So I hear. I was too young to understand what was going on. I'll ask Daddy about it next time I get a chance. Daddy, right. That reminds me. About Mr. Wright. He gave me a call this morning to come in. Daddy's not here right now. He's in the hospital. The hospital? Yeah, he's on strict bed rest until he gets better. What? Okay. Which hospital is Mr. Wright in? I'll pay him a visit. Oh, the Hickfield Clinic. It's quite close. Right, well, I'll be going now, and I'll, give this showbiz gig some thought, okay? Wait, I'll go with you. June 15th, 9:45 a.m., the Hickfield Clinic, not the Hottie Clinic, so we don't have to deal with Director Hottie. So, this is Mr. Wright's hospital. Oh, I spoke too soon. You got any places you'd like examined? Doctor, the nurse was looking for you. Why, if it isn't the daddy of the cutest little thing in town? Guess I'll be off then. Later, Trucy. Wow, what an odd bird that guy was. I'm glad he hasn't aged at all either. Good morning. I didn't expect you so soon, Apollo. Mr. Wright. What happened? So, what happened? Who could have imagined it? Me, victim of a hit and run. You were hit by a car? Oh, he tried to swerve, I'll give him that. Picture me tossed 30 feet through the air, only stopping when my head hit that telephone pole. I wouldn't want that doctor touching me with a yeah. You hit a telephone pole with your head? Are you okay? Well, thankfully, my only injury was a sprained ankle. He really is as lucky as they say. About Trucy. There's something that, well, it just doesn't sit right. I just can't believe you have a daughter, Mr. Wright. And she's so big. Not fat, but you know what I mean. Oh, Trucy's still a child. Daddy, how many times do I have to remind you? I am not a child anymore. Oh, but you'll always be Daddy's little baby girl to me, Trucy. My foot. I'm not buying it. Oh, something you should know about Trucy? She's a magician, right? She told me. Well, not a mere stage magician. She's a genius. Oh, Daddy. You'll soon come to appreciate her talent. You could just tell me things instead of insinuating them. The Right Talent Agency. So, why did you contact me? What could the Right Talent Agency possibly want with me? We don't need to get prickly now. Hey, I didn't ask to be dragged in like this. Huh? But didn't you come into the office of your own free will anyway? Well, yeah, of course. Help! We're in big trouble here at the office! Big! I thought someone was dying. So you don't think this is big trouble? My talent agency represents only 2 people, and one of them is in the hospital. That's right, Daddy. How are we going to pay this month's rent? And the groceries? Yeah, that's the problem with such a tight operation. It's a symbiotic relationship. When one of us falls, the other 2 must fall. Hey, this isn't exactly a suitable conversation to be having with a 15-year-old kid. In any case, if Apollo here can't help you, you'll have to transfer to a new school. Again. No, I can't. I only just made friends. How could you do this to me? To us, Polly? Huh? What? Now it's my fault. On that note, how about you come work for us? I've got the perfect client for you already lined up. A client? You mean I get to do my job? I get to defend in court? All right, I'll hear what you have to say. You got him, Daddy. Hook, line, and sinker. Now it's time to reel him in. It's official. I am scared. Our client. All right, so who's the client? Ah, yes. Here, take a look at the map, and I'll explain. Last night, I left the office just before 9 o'clock. I was going to that Indochina pasta joint, Al dente's. Al dente's, oh gosh. I play piano there, of course. That's when it happened. The car sent me flying, nicked a telephone pole, and zoomed away. Creepy, huh? Just a tad. It's almost as creepy as hearing you tell the story like it was no big deal. The car sped off in this direction. So, good luck. Huh? You wanted a client, didn't you? Well, I'm your client. Find the guy who knocked me into that telephone pole. Well, hold on. I'm a defense attorney, not a detective. Don't worry. Once you found the guy, I intend to sue him. Then you can stick it to him in court. I'm not a prosecutor either. I'm sorry, but this is crazy. I'm going home. Don't get so worked up. It was just a joke. Huh? Oh, Daddy. Sorry, Apollo. He just loves jokes, you know? Even the ones that aren't very funny. Your real client should be stopping by the office anytime now. The office? You mean the talent agency? Oh, no harm in going. Not like I have anything else to do. One more thing. Do look into my accident too, would you? I marked the scene of the tragedy on this map. It's right in front of this park. Should be easy to find. So, he's gonna make me investigate this after all? Map added to the court record. Shows the area around Mr. Wright's office. Got it. Alright. Hey, Mr. Wright, you wanna look at my badge? Look at that, it's in 3D and everything. 929XX3. What's that? Looks strangely familiar. How could you not recognize an attorney's badge? It's been 7 years. I've forgotten a lot of things. I guess some 7 years are longer than others. Okay. Anything we can look at? What in the world is all this? Ah, Daddy, you snuck some grape juice in again? The doctor said you weren't supposed to drink that here. Trucy, look at the label. Oh. Deep sea mineral water. That's fine, I guess. I switched the labels. Don't tell Trucy, okay? What can I say? The man loves his grape juice. That's right, I love my grape juice, don't you? What are all these movies? A swaying, spiraling stack of DVD cases. The Steel Samurai, the Nickel Samurai, the Pink Princess, the Zappy Samurai, Electric Boogaboo. They're all children's action hero shows. This kid I know keeps sending them to me. Huh? Like a niece or a nephew? Something like that. Quite the collection. This kid's parents must be really generous with their allowance. Funny, Mr. Wright doesn't seem the type that kids would like. I wonder who it is who's sending him all this. Mr. Wright's bed. It's really messy. Look how messy this is. You're just hopeless without me, aren't you, Daddy? Yikes, she's attempting to clean up. Look out. You got me. What can I say? I was raised in a barn. Try not to let word get out, Apollo, if you don't mind. Yeah, it might ruin your illustrious career pretending to play the piano. TV. What's that on TV? Looks like some sort of action hero show. Oh, I know that one. That's the Sniffling Samurai. His booger flick attack is a big hit with the grade school crowd. Hey, I've played that video game. It was a Super Nintendo game. I had no idea you liked this kind of stuff, Mr. Wright. Well, what else is there to do when you're stuck in bed? Besides, the episode will just keep piling up if I don't keep up, you know? Oh, yeah. Try not buying them. Now is the only time I get to watch and write up my reports. Your reports? It's a long story. Like a lot of things, actually. Okay. Anything else? I don't think so. We got the piano we're gonna get. This looks like a child's toy piano. I gotta practice. Wouldn't want my fingers to get stiff. Pro always keeps his weapon close at hand. Shall I play you a tune? No thanks. How unfortunate. I so rarely get a chance to play. Alright. Well, thanks, Phoenix. We're gonna go back to your agency now. June 15th, 10:05 a.m., the Right Talent Agency. Hey, hey, hey! How long you planning on making me wait, huh? Good morning. Hey there, Trucy doll. Sounds like your pop's had a bit of a rough spot, eh? All's well that ends well, I guess. This is our client? Hey, so this is that Apollo fellow, huh? Yes, the name's Apollo. Look at him there, arms all crossed like, ready to fight. Yes, sir. You don't mean that literally, do you? The boss told you what I need, right? Don't let me down now, Apollo. Don't worry about your defense, sir. I'm on it. Defense? Your noodle half cooked? It's too late for defense. My castle's been stormed. My keep's been kept. My noodle stand's been stolen. Noodle? You know Mr. Eldoon from the noodle stand, don't you, Polly? No nicknames, please. And no, of course, I don't know him. You know in these parts? Not really. Then you know the best noodles in town. Eldoon's Noodles. I like his name is a anagram of noodle. Whose noodles? My noodles! Help me out here, Tootsie Doll. This is Mr. Guy Eldoon, our client. Noodle Guy. I like it. Very nice. Maybe you can tell us what the problem is, Mr. Eldoon. Anything for you, Tootsie Doll? Let's talk. Who is this guy? So, you run a noodle stand, Mr. Eldoon? Guy Eldoon's the name. And noodles are my game. The secret's in the soup. I've been searching for the perfect soup for 1.5 years. Oh, that's not that long, really. My family's been noodle men for generations. Got a lot of expectations on my shoulders. 15 fathers passing the noodle to 15 sons. That's a pretty old noodle. Aye, and fool that I was, I pushed it away. I rebelled against my pops and picked another livelihood. But that didn't turn out so well. Oh, there was no denying it. Salty broth runs through these veins, boy. So, it was like destiny that you became what you are? Right, destiny's the word. Oh, I fought it. But in the end, I was bound by the twisted noodle of fate. Not a mental image I care to linger on. So last year, I started my noodle stand. The 15th generation of Eldoon's Noodles. Eldoon's Noodles. So tell me more about Eldoon's Noodles. You don't know the genius that are in my noodles? I make them so salty, why they're saltier than salt. Now I really don't want to find out. Daddy's a regular at his noodle stand. He frequented my pops' stand back during his attorney days, too. Yep, him and his assistant. I'm sorry. I'll be sure to stop by your stand soon. You wish you could, Sonny. Huh? Heck, I wish I could. I'd give anything for a bowl by now. What do you mean? I was stolen. My stand. Gone. Stolen? Stolen stand? It was last night. I was doing my rounds, blowing my whistle. It's like an ice cream truck's bell, but louder. He even gets complaints. Now you're just trying to butter me up. That sounded more like the blues than a whistle. I closed up my stand for the night and parked by the house. Then, this morning, dark and early, it was gone. My keep, my castle. Oh! Maybe some bum carted it off? Just guessing here. Well, I don't care who did it. Without that stand, I'm finished. All my noodle bowls were in there, too. It's the saddest thing I've heard all day. You know it. Anyhow, that's the deal. Good luck. Huh? Wait, what exactly is your request? My noodle stand. Find it. And the day you bring my baby back is the day you feast on as many noodles as you want. Of course, I make it so hot and salty, 2 bowls would kill a man. Then I'd really need defense. Speaking of defense, that's what I do. I'm a lawyer, not a detective. This is where I live. You drop by if you need any info, okay? Get it back today if you can, Paulo. I got noodles to make. Things have certainly taken a turn for the bizarre. Traffic accidents and noodle stand thieves. Actually, there was something I wanted to ask you about too, Apollo. Huh? I have a bad feeling about this. Listen to the lady's problem now. Don't be cruel. I lost something last night. That is, something was stolen. Hey, what's this? More thieving and skullduggery? Well, someone stole a pair of my panties. Panties? Trucy's request. So they stole your, my panties, yes. Right. Panties. That's a crying shame, that is, Trucy doll. I was alone in the office last night. I had hung my panties out the window there to dry. When a thief came and took them, my favorite panties. I ran after him. Give those back, I shouted. Wait! Well, that was certainly brave of you, but I lost him. Without those panties, I don't know what I'll do. A darn crying shame, yep. Well, at least the scene of the crime is convenient. I'll mark it on your map. I'll be heading home now. Remember, find my stand, or there's an empty bowl in your future, Apollo. Right. And you help out Trucy doll here too, you hear? Things have certainly picked up, haven't they? We had no work yesterday, and now we have 3 cases. I guess. Let's see where we stand. Not in the courtroom, that's where. Well, the first item on our list, Phoenix Wright, Daddy's hit and run accident. We have to find the one who hit him. Who's gonna pay us for this again? And the second item, Mr. Eldon's request to find his stolen stand, for which we stand to gain a bowl of salty noodles. And the last request is mine, to find my stolen panties. That bowl of noodles is looking better and better. Let's go, Polly, to the streets. Aren't you enthusiastic? How could I not be? Let's crack these cases, you and me. Guess we might as well get started. Let's see, a hit and run, a stolen stand, and last but not least, stolen panties. Okay. Let's go, I guess. Pick field, accident scene, scene of the stands. Let's go to the accident first. June 15th, accident scene. So this is where Mr. Wright got hit by that car. According to the map, this is the place. What a huge mansion. Apollo, there's a nice looking lady over there. Let's question her. Okay. I'm a little curious about the park over there, too. Excuse me, can we have a few words with you? You want something? Whoa, that husky voice. Why am I suddenly sweating? Oh, husky voice. That's quite a house you got there. You must have a lot of money. Oh, money sounds like something my son would call his friends. This is the Kitaki family mansion, little girl. You, kid with the hair, you want something? Me? No, not a thing. Bye. Paulo, we can't leave without questioning her. What if she knows something? But the Kitaki family, they're the biggest organized crime syndicate in town. If you're going to ask something, ask it. If you're man enough. Whoa, right. Yay, way to whip him into shape, man. Does she know no fear? I'm Plum Kitaki, wife of the fourth head of the Kitaki family business. Friends call me Little Plum. I'm Apollo Justice, attorney at law. If looks could kill, this woman would be a mass murderer by now. Let's talk. The Kitakis. Little Plum? That's a really cute name for someone so... Yes? Whoa! What is it, Apollo? How about you go through me when talking to her, okay, Trucy? Huh? That seems like a bit of a needless procedure. I'm a lawyer. I live for needless procedures. Oh, little girl, you should know. We're gangsters. Oh, that means you're the bad guys. Trucy, through me, please. I'm begging you here. The bad guys. I like the sound of that. I'm gonna need some warm tea after this. It takes a lot of hard work to protect the family fortune. Things aren't as easy as they used to be for us, bad guys. So, you're saying that business is in a slump? Let's not ask about business if we can help it, please. Last night's accident. Okay. So, there was supposedly a car accident here last night? Last night... of course, you wouldn't know about it. Sorry to bother you. Wait. Yes? You're talking about that man, aren't you? The one who flew 30 feet and just walked away. That's my daddy! I should have known. One of our capos thought he'd make a great point man. Capo? Point man? Could you avoid using too much, industry lingo? In any case, it's been nothing but trouble. I've been cleaning up this mess since morning. Bah! Cleaning up this, paint? Was this paint spilled at the time of the accident? It was around 9 last night. I heard a crashing noise. And found your father drowning in a sea of paint. So you came to his rescue? You've my husband, the boss, to thank for that. The car that hit your father knocked over this paint, then turned the corner and sped away. We're in the middle of repainting our wall, you see. I'm sure that dragon is glaring at me. But why are you out here cleaning it up? What do you mean? I mean, aren't you a gangster? Don't you have any goons to do your dirty work for you? Please, go through me when you want to... Don't be such a stiff. Lawyer boy. I suppose we gangsters do have a certain image. Yes. But we're community-oriented gangsters, you see. The boss likes to give back to the people, see? How noble of him. I availed myself of the public facilities to get rid of all the garbage. Now there's just the paint on the street to deal with. Public facilities? I wonder if she means that trash can. Okay. Hey. You wanna know that I'm a lawyer? We could talk about that. Sorry, kid, I got no idea what you're talking about. Okay, thanks. Let's go over here. Who's that? She's looking at the park. She's pretty. I bet she has a story, you know? There is something about her. Too bad she seems to be in a bit of a rush. Let's see, what is this? Looks like there's some trouble by the park gate. I smell an incident. Ma'am, there's no entry to the park. Now don't you tell me where I can go, young fella. I always walk through this park on my way home. Please, get down from there! You'll hurt yourself, ma'am! That's quite the determined old lady. Personally, I'm a little more interested in this park. You know what I think? I bet they're filming a movie. Let's go take a look. Maybe we'll see someone famous. Hey, miss, stay out of the park. He got mad at me. Did something happen here, officer? Huh? No, move along, nothing to see. Why don't you kids go play someplace else? We're not kids, and we're not playing. I'm an attorney. Something wrong? Detective Sky, we're fine, ma'am, nothing to report. Detective? Why is she wearing a lab coat? You're hardly one to comment on how people are dressed. And these kids are curiosity seekers, ma'am. They claim to be lawyers. Ah, why don't you kids run along and play someplace else? Look, we're not... Or might I spill something on that pretty face of yours? Want a dose of experimental hydrochlorics? Come again? What's hydrox stuff? Whatever it is, it doesn't sound good. Let's go, Trucy. Try to keep out the riffraff, if you would. Yes, ma'am. How are we gonna get more information like this? Why don't we ask that nice woman across the street? Oh yes, that nice woman. We could go ask. The People Park. Can I ask you a question? What? What happened in the park across the street? Oh yes, quite the commotion. Chicago lightning, as the boss would say. Chicago, huh? Gunfire. Someone was killed. Strange circumstances, too. You're kidding. What a morning. Trouble everywhere, the park, the gate, even our house. Did something happen at your house, too? A crime without honor, without remorse. It's a private matter. You want to hear about it? Wait, without honor, isn't that from Kill Bill? Somehow I don't think no is an acceptable answer, Polly. A private matter. So, what happened at your house? Bloomers, Snite. Huh? I got a bad feeling about this. Me, Little Plum Kitaki, the victim of a panty snatcher. What? So it wasn't just my panties that were stolen? Got you too, did they? Poor thing. Like I said, whoever did this is a hardened criminal. It wasn't you, was it? No, of course not. Mercy! I've heard word that panties have been disappearing lately. The missing panties all have something in common. It's hard to imagine Trucy's and Mrs. Kitaki's panties having much in common. I just imagined Mrs. Kitaki's panties. Ugh. I know. We'll find your bloomers too. Great. Show me what you're made of. What have you gotten me into this time, Trucy? Foul. Quite foul. That girl from before. Oh, welcome home, sweetie. Hello, mother. She's a Kitaki too? Oh, miss? Here, our flyer. The Right Anything Agency? Anything Agency? Yeah, do you like the new flyer? So, this is our defense attorney, Mr. Apollo Justice. Attorney? Drop by our office. We'll be waiting. Goodbye. That is foul. Quite foul. Why did you give her our flyer? I don't know. She seemed like she could use some help. She's the heiress to a gangster dynasty. She doesn't need our help. I wouldn't be so sure. Okay. Well, have we looked at everything we can here, then? Probably. So let's go to the scene of the stand theft. June 15th, scene of the stand theft. Why does that say new up there? So, what's his place? This would be Mr. Eldoon's house, silly. Oh, so this is where his stand was stolen from? I can see a piece of evidence lying on the ground already. Hey. Look, there's a police car parked over there. You're right. What's with the sparkly entrance? What is this place? A hospital? There's a sign. Maractus Clinic. Oh, that's where the thief went. The thief? The one who snatched my panties. He ran into this clinic last night. Wait. Maybe that police car is here to find my panties. I doubt it. Well, there's only one way to be sure. Let's investigate. Ah, there you are, Sonny. Well, you find anything yet? No, not yet. The longer you loaf around here, the saltier your victory bowl gets. Just remember that. This bowl of noodles is sounding less like payment and more like a punishment. Let's see, Eldoon's Noodles. So, your stand, Eldoon's Noodles, was it? Aye, passed down from father to son. That stand seen its share of salt. Salt runs in the family, you might say. I bet high blood pressure does too. So, your stand, Eldoon's Noodles, was stolen. Oh, it wasn't just the stand that was stolen, Sonny Boy. I lost those wobbly wheels, my salt-crusted stew pot, my stained sign. I didn't just lose a stand. I lost a legend. No one steals a legend and gets away with it on my watch. Let's find that legend, Apollo. Isn't it about time he bought a new one anyway? The stolen stand. Are there any more details you could give me about the stand? You bet, Sonny Boy. It happened last night. I was blowing my whistle like always, crying the town I was. The smell of broth filled the streets, thick and salty. I got home, well, right before 10 p.m., I reckon. I guess he's not aiming for that late night market. I washed my bowls and gave the wheels a squirt of grease, then I went inside. When did you notice it had been stolen? Early this morning, before the sun rose. Work starts early. Do that many people eat noodles for breakfast? I'm washed up on the salty shores of ruination. That stand had my whole life in it. Nay, my whole being. They took everything? All my soup stock, my noodles, my bowls, and my dreams. At least they left one bowl. Look there, on the ground. If you don't find that stand today, then I'll be forced to walk the streets, peddling that bowl. My last bowl. Please, I'm under enough pressure here as it is. All right, well, can we look at the Maractus? Let's save the light. There's a handwritten sign here. Save the light. Save the light. Indeed. Mr. Eldoon's house is practically in the dark here. I guess the hospital clinic next door blocks the sunlight. Everything's gone wrong since they built this monstrosity. Broth needs sun or it rots. What's a man to do? They just want my customers to get food poisoning so they can turn a pretty profit. That seems like a lot of trouble to go through for a few extra patients. All right. There's a sign, a voting sign. There's a dog. What's it? There's a bowl there. Is this yours, Mr. Eldoon? Hey, that there's the heart and soul of Eldoon's Noodles. The bowl absorbs my salty soup. Pretty soon it's gonna taste just like noodles. Wow, it does smell like noodles. All my other bowls got taken away with my stand. Get it back for me, Sonny Boy. I'm begging you. Bowl added to the court record. Okay, so we got some evidence from that. That's nice. And then new. That's quite a sign. I take it that's new as opposed to old? You like it? I made it myself, I did. I meant to write noodles, but I ran out of space. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Lucky for me, it spells the word all by itself. And spruces up my image, it does. It does have a certain power or willful denial thing going for it. Okay. Then we got his house to look at. This house is, well, it's old. It's been well loved, that's for sure. I've lived here with my wife for many years now. It's got character, though, just like my soup. I always thought character was a positive thing. Man, the tarp. That's the place, right there. That's where I kept my stand, covered all nice and pretty with that blue top there. So you use this plastic sheet to cover your stand at night? I see. You see? What? Did you figure out why it was stolen? Well, no. But it does suggest that the thief knew what he or she was looking for. They clearly knew what was under that sheet. So it wasn't one of those casual drive-by stand snatchers, you mean? Not bad, sonny boy, not bad at all. Okay. And then there's a dog. Look, a doggy. Good boy, Salty. I'm sure the dog has a real name, Trucy. Yep, sure does. Name's Spoon. And it's a she, by the way. Spoon doesn't seem so lively. She didn't get her bowl of salty broth this morning, that's why. Poor little thing. Oh. Apollo, let's find that stand soon, for Spoon's sake. I'm pretty sure dogs aren't supposed to eat noodles. Yeah, that seems a little off. But let's look at the police car. I'd understand if there was an ambulance outside, but a police car? Maybe they're tax evaders. Sorry, miss, no going into the clinic today. Did something happen? Huh? No, nothing to see here. Move along. You'll have to find someplace else to play doctor. Do we look like the right age to be playing doctor? We need a little more info on this Maractus clinic. We could ask Mr. Eldoon. He is their neighbor and all. And we should check out that garage. What if the thief who stole my panties is still in there? And the Maractus Clinic. That doorway sure is sparkly. The Maractus Clinic, huh? It looks more like a casino parlor than a hospital. They must be quite profitable. Funny, it looks closed. Maybe they're on vacation today. All right, well, let's see. Talk about the garage. That's it. That's where the thief who snatched my panties ran to. It's a crying shame, that is. If they have to steal, make it my loincloth, not some pretty girl's panties. What? The garage, right? You don't think the thief lives here, do you? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past that good-for-nothing doctor. Do I detect a little animosity here? Let's make sure to check out that garage thoroughly. Maractus Clinic. Hey, do you think something happened next door? There's a police car out front. Yeah, probably gave someone food poisoning, I'll bet. If anyone's at risk of giving someone food poisoning. That police car got here this morning, actually. I asked what they were up to, but they wouldn't even tell me. The neighbor. Not that I was surprised much. That doctor works for the wrong crowd. It was just a matter of time before he got what was coming to him. The wrong crowd? Never you mind about that. That's interesting, isn't it? Oh, we can go to the garage. Let's do it. June 15th, Maractus Clinic Garage. This is the place. This is where that panty snatcher ran to. Are you sure? Maybe. Let's look for clues. Clues to a panty snatching. Clues like a pair of panties. Trucy, could you try not saying panties so many times? Yes, please. Let's ixnay on that. What is this down here? There's something about this car. Let's take a closer look. Wait. Why is there... That reminds me, I once read a record of a case that Mr. Wright worked on many years ago. Apparently there was this car with a piece of cloth shoved into the tailpipe. That piece of cloth turned out to be a vital clue to solving the case. That was case 2 of game 2, in fact. Wow! I remember that case record whenever I'm checking out a car. And I always check the tailpipe. Everyone's gotta have a hobby, I guess. Wouldn't it be funny if... Hey! There's something in there! What? Wait a second. Are these your... Oh! My panties! What? Already? Wow, thank you, Apollo. You're a genius. Amazing. No, really, don't mention it. No, I'm serious. I'm really impressed. You must have a nose for finding girls' panties. What are those? My little panties, of course. They've come home to Mama. Can't wait to use them. You're gonna put them on now? Watch closely now. See? Nothing in the panties. Ta-da! Whoa, wait. Where'd that come from? How did that bowl get in your panties? My panties are an extra dimensional space. Anything can fit in there. They're my magic panties. It's one of my best tricks. Magic panties? They love them over at the Wonder Bar. I do shows there nightly. You mean those panties are a prop? You could have told me that a little sooner. A prop for performing magic found in exhaust pipe of a car at the Maractus Clinic. Got it. Well, that's one case closed at least. What are you saying? We still have to catch the sly devil that ran off with the tool of my trade. Oh, right. Something tells me we're not finished searching this garage anyway. What about this? Look, a cell phone. Someone dropped it beneath this tire. If the car moved, it'd be crushed for sure. I wonder if it belongs to the doctor here. We should bring it to him later. Cell phone added, found in the Maractus Clinic garage beneath a car. Who could have dropped it? Okay. Well, that's interesting. And wait a minute, why is the rearview mirror torn off? There's something about this car. Let's take a closer look. All right. Oh, can we look at the rearview mirror from here? Okay. Hey, look at that. The mirror's been broken off. Now this is a clue. What? You're smiling like you know something I don't. You aren't keeping a clue from me, are you, Polly? A clue? Well, let's see. Show some... I think I do have just the clue you've got in mind. Is it the cell phone? Wait a minute. Is there anything on the cell phone that's interesting? There's like a watch, which is kind of weird. Look at this cute little watch strap. I want one. It's kind of odd, though. What is? Well, I mean, if you wanted to know the time, you could just look at the phone itself. Hey, you're right. Sharp, Apollo. Thanks. Finally, some respect. So what does that tell you? Well, the owner of this phone doesn't think through the details, for one. They did drop their phone, after all. I kind of figured they were a little spacey already. Oh, good point. Okay, well that's cool. And we could look at the panties. Something the matter? I'm just wondering if there was like a switch on these. Of course not! Huh, mysterious. Oh, do you want to know the secret of the panties? No thanks! Who uses magic panties in a stage show anyway? We got Eldoon's bowl. What is that in the bottom? It's the Eldoon Noodle mascot. Mr. Salty. He's so cute. It's not a very endearing mascot, is it? You know, come to think of it, it looks a lot like you, Apollo. Especially the red parts. Can I help it if I like red? And there's one on the bottom, too. Oh, look, I love these little personal touches. Seems a shame to hide it on the bottom of the bowl. Huh? When I touched it, the paint flaked off. He must have painted it on by hand with warm, professional care. After buying the cheapest paint he could find with cold, professional thrift. Yep. Alright. Well, I guess we don't really... I mean, could we present the phone? That's your clue? Sorry, but that leaves me feeling kind of clueless. Like father, like daughter, with the humor, apparently. There's no need to bluff here, Apollo. Save that for the court. Thanks for the advice. Alright, so we don't have what we need to talk about yet, I guess? And why is there a cat up there? Hey, a kitty cat! Here, kitty kitty! It's not coming down. We do look kind of suspicious, we have to admit. It's okay, kitty cat. His hair won't hurt you. It's okay, kitty cat. She won't make you disappear in her hat. Why is there a human body fragment in there? Ah! Someone's there! Oh, it's just a gold-painted human skeleton. Just a human skeleton and painted gold. There's a mannequin hand waving to us from the box behind the skeleton. This place just screams hospital storage, don't you think? It screams something, that's for sure. Yeah, that's weird. All right. I'm guessing we don't have enough to go off of for anything in here yet, so... Oh, wait. Here we go. Look, it's a folding ladder. Polly, that's called a step ladder. Come on. A step ladder? How is that different from a regular ladder, then? It's a much more complex piece of machinery. It's like two ladders stuck together. So you admit that basically it's a ladder, right? Wait, huh? You have to look past the form, at the essence of the thing. Can we talk about something else? Yeah, there we go. We have our first stepladder conversation. There's something about this car. Okay, no, we don't want to look at the car. Not yet, at least. All right. Let's go back to Eldunes. Let's present the phone, see if he knows anything about it. Sorry, sonny boy. My interest is for my stand and precious little else. Get cracking on that case. Find my stand. I'm begging you. What about the... Nope, he's not interested in that either. So... We'll go back to the Kitaki mansion, maybe? Wait. What's that in the garbage over there? There's a big trash can on the way into the park. I guess we could check it out. A detective's life sure is a hard one. I'm an attorney, Huh? Two pieces of garbage with paint on them. These are slippers. They look like those slippers you get at the hospital. Look at this, Apollo. Doesn't this go on a car? It's a side view mirror. Looks like it was torn off when it smacked into something. Or someone. Wait, you don't think... I do. This could be from the car that hit Mr. Wright. Wow. And he took off its mirror? I never knew Daddy was so strong. I only have room in my pocket for one of these, though. Which do you want to take? The mirror. For sure. Mirror slipped into the pocket. Okay. Cool. Well, in that case, we don't have anything new to talk about with her. Let's go back. And let's examine the car again. All right, take a closer look. And then we will go ahead and look at the device here. Look at that. Mirror has been broken off. What? Yep. The clue, we're going to show the evidence of mirror. Right? My clue is this. Whoa, it's the same color and size and everything. A perfect match. I guess we could check it out. Two pieces of garbage with paint on them. Look at this, Apollo. Doesn't this go on a car? It's a side view mirror. Looks like it was torn off when it smacked into something. Or someone. Yep. Well, looks like we've just solved a case. So the car that hit Daddy last night is sitting right in front of us. Yep. Wow. You put the pro and professional, Apollo. Gee, thanks, Trucy. Apollo! What is it? Now that we've solved this case, we should go report to Daddy. He'll mope if we leave him alone too long, you know. Okay. He doesn't seem the type to mope, though. And this is hardly a case worth reporting. Well, let's see. So we're gonna go back to the Write Anything, and then the Hickfield Clinic. June 15th, Hickfield Clinic. Yo, how goes it? Daddy, how do you feel? Not bad, Tracy. Not bad. It's good to have you youngins on the case. Let's old Daddy get some well-deserved R&R. The elderly need their rest. Isn't he only 33? We've cleared up most of the cases. I was right about you. competent, capable. Tell me what you found out, if you want to. Your enthusiasm is overwhelming. Can we present? So this was the thing that led you to the car. Yes, sir. The mirror you knocked off was just the clue we needed. Good work, Apollo. Of course, you might say, I was the one who made solving the case possible. You don't get points for knocking off a car mirror. Let's talk progress report. Well, I certainly didn't expect you back this early. Holly's amazing. He found my panties so quick. Almost like he was the one who stole them. You have an interesting concept of praise. And did you find the mad driver who gave me that 30-foot toss? Apparently it was a doctor from the Maractus Clinic. Maractus, eh? I've heard of him. Nothing good, mind you. That reminds me, a police car was parked outside the clinic. Maybe something happened? What is this Maractus Clinic anyway? All I've heard are the rumors that clinic's been making good money in a bad way. Bad? Ties to organized crime. The Kentucky family. The Kentucky family? He did that on purpose. Some injuries you can't take to a public hospital, see? They use the Maractus Clinic for their patch-up jobs. Interesting. People Park. It looked like something had happened in that park. Ah, a body was found there in unusual circumstances. Something more unusual than being dead? It's not our concern, in any case. Right, let's ignore that and find that noodle stand. Whatever happened to professional curiosity? No thanks, really. I get tired of sleeping. Maybe I'll head down to this Maractus place. Maybe hit him up for some reparations. A little legal action would do me some good. I was wondering when I get paid? We solved the case of your accident and found a missing article of clothing. My panties. That leaves the noodle stand. Feel free to drop in if you get stuck. I'd be happy to help with anything not involving money. Goodbye, quid pro quo. Hello, pro bono. Right, back to the office to plan our next move. Okay. Let's go. June 15th, Write Anything Agency. You're the woman from the Kentucky place. Yes. I knew it. Something's the matter and you want our help, right? Well, you've come to the right place. This way, please. Thank you. My name is Alita Tiala. I have a request. Your request? Your request? Let me guess. Something's been stolen. Your flyer. It says now defending, so I thought... What? You mean you want me to defend you? Me? Maybe you can tell us what happened? Were you hit by a car? Did someone steal your stand? Or your panties? No. I'm not the client, actually. The client would be my fiancé, I suppose you'd call him. Fiancé? What happened to him then? He was arrested this morning. The charge was murder. Murder? Have you heard about what happened at the park? Tiala's story. So, what's your story? You frequent the Kentucky Mansion, yes? Are you a member of their, organization? No, not yet. Not yet? You see, I'm to be married next month to the boss's son. The boss's son? So he's a gangster? Yes, but the Kentuckys are locally responsible gangsters. I thought it'd be nice for a change. Quit my boring job and live the good gangster life. I think you're onto something. Mrs. Kentucky. I like the sound of that. I'm not sure your daddy would care much for that. Murder in the park. What happened? I haven't been told all the details, but I do know a body was found in the park, near the Kentucky Mansion. There were a lot of police cars there. Apparently, the victim was shot with a pistol, but I hear the circumstances of the shooting were rather unusual. And your fiancé was arrested for this? What sort of person is your fiance? Your fiance is the Kitaki family's only son, correct? His name's Waki. Waki Kitaki. Oh no. I brought a photo. Well, that's quite the photo. I know. Oh, he can be powerful and menacing, but so cute. But if he's the boss's only son, yes, I'm sure he'll take his father's place someday. Say, I'm a boss already of this agency. Please help my Waki, please. Right, my first solo defense case. Crime boss's son or not, I'll prove that he's innocent. I prepared a letter of request. I know you need those. Letter of request from Alita Tiala for the legal defense of her fiance, Waki Kitaki. Right, let's go check out the scene of the crime. Alright, well, we got it. I guess they can let us in now. Or we can go to the detention center too. But yeah, let's go check out the scene of the crime first. June 15th, Kitaki Mansion. So this is it. My first murder crime scene. It's you kids again. Look, can't you find some other place to play? We're not playing. We're, investigating. Aren't we, Apollo? Sir, I have a letter of request here. Letter of... Huh? Why does it say hit request on it? Miss Tiala must have used the Kitaki stationery. Excuse me, coming through. Oh, it's you, Mr. Gavin. Huh? Who's this guy? I must say, I'm used to being inspected by the ladies. But this is the first time I felt this way with a man. Mr. Gavin? Fräulein. What's a sweet morsel like you doing in such a dismal place? Can I help? Yes! The policeman officer fellow here won't let us in. We even have a letter of request. You must be exhausted, standing out here. I'll take you to the scene of the crime. Oh, really? By your leave, officer. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Very well. This way, Fräulein. Whee! Hey, what about me? June 15th, People Park. On that note, enjoy your investigation. Well, thank you. Will we see you again? As the wind, Fräulein. I'll be riding on it. Who was that? Yeah! Apollo, look! A corpse! What? Hey, it's just a mannequin. Wow. It sure got me. Might I ask exactly what it is you're doing here? Oh, it's you. How did you kids get in here? Oh, this guy, well, he was more like a prince, really. He let us in. Him again. That glamorous fop, always getting in my way. Anyway, this scene is off limits. Excuse me? We have a letter of request. One moment. Why is she holding that big magnifying glass? I'd recognize that handwriting anywhere. Scientific analysis says this was written by Alita Tiala. Thanks. Took you 30 minutes to figure that out. So, what's up with the mannequin there? It's taking the place of the body, preserving the scene of the crime as it was found. The body was pulling the stand? So, you're a defense attorney, are you? Detective Emma Skye. I'm in charge of this crime scene. She doesn't seem that happy about it. She doesn't seem that happy about many things. I trust you know how to stay out of the way. I always carry 2 pairs of handcuffs, just in case. The case. Detective Skye? Quiet, please. It's snack time. Okay. We're not making much progress here. She must not be very busy. I never seem to get a lucky break. Back after 9 years, and they won't give me the position I requested. And then I hear he gave up the defense attorney life. He? Who's he? An ex-defense attorney? Your story. Detective Sky? Quiet, please. It's snack time. We're not making any progress. She must not be busy. Alright, so... she's not going to talk to us about anything, basically. So, we'll try one more time. Nope, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So, chronologically speaking, it's been like 9 or 10 years since we last saw Emma. With the, it was the 5th case of the first game, where she was much younger. Alright, well, let's examine the crime scene, I guess. Hey there, no messing with the crime scene. But we need to investigate. Investigations are to be carried out by professionals. Scientifically. She's not gonna let us check out the crime scene, is she? Hey, Apollo. My very unscientific analysis tells me something here is very suspicious. I think I know what you mean. It's kind of hard not to notice. You better check out what we came here to find, at least. The noodle stand. Hey there, no messing with the crime scene. But we need to investigate. Apollo, look! That stand! It says Eldoon. I've noticed. Well, we've solved the case of the missing stand, at least. Though the circumstances could stand to be better. Alright, well, I think we've seen everything we can see here. So we can go back and tell Mr. Eldoon we found his, stand. June 15th, Eldoon's house. Oh, Mr. Eldoon. Hello? Looks like he left. And we found his stand and everything. What about our free bowl? Oh, too bad. Looks like we'll have to wait a little longer for that bowl. So sorry. Aw, what a bummer. Okay, well, what do we do next? Let's see. Anything cool going on in the clinic garage? Nope. Right, anything agency? Nothing we can talk to her about, I guess. Let's see if we can find Mr. Wright. June 15th, Hickfield Clinic. Ah, you're back. Run into some problems? Oh, Polly, didn't you want to tell Daddy something? Who, me? No, I'm fine, really. What's this? So there is a problem? No problem. Actually, I got a defense request. A defense request? Well, that is a problem. Huh? I've given up the court. I'm not a lawyer anymore. The request was for me! Oh, right. You're a lawyer, aren't you? He's doing that on purpose. I know it. Talk about murder. So, what about this defense request? It's related to the murder in People Park, actually. Guess what? We found Mr. Eldoon's noodle stand at the scene of the crime. Did you now? That's unusual indeed. Never heard of a noodle stand being used as a murder weapon. I think the murder weapon was something else. You mean you don't know what the murder weapon was? That funny detective lady won't let us on the scene. What kind of detective wears a lab coat anyway? A lab coat? I didn't think she'd be involved with this. You know her? You could say that. The Sky Connection. So, you know her, don't you? I met her on a case, this was about 10 years ago. She was still a high school student at the time. That would make her about the same age as me. That's my daddy. He knows all the police types. Oh wait, maybe you know that other guy too. That other guy? That shining prince on the motorcycle? prince. The mysterious prince. Apollo, tell me about this prince of Trucy's. Indulge a concerned father. He was at the crime scene. He looked just like Mr. Gavin. Oh, did he now? You know him? My guess is he's Christoph Gavin's younger brother. His brother? We're acquaintances, after a fashion. Clavier Gavin, rock and roll god incarnate. Or Clavier, actually, sorry. Clavier would be the correct way to pronounce that. Clavier? What a lovely name. He's so dreamy. I didn't know Mr. Gavin had a brother. And what was he doing out there? I have a feeling you'll be crossing paths again soon. Now, what was the problem again? Having trouble investigating the crime scene in the park? Yeah, that detective woman won't let us. Go to the office. Under the silk top hat, you'll find a bottle of white powder. Try taking that to this detective. White powder? I hope it's not what I think it is. I'll just take it to her. It'll be fine. You'll see. Oh, and tell her I said hi. Okay. So under the desk... Is it this? There are all sorts of strange paraphernalia sitting on top of the piano. Those are my magic props. Practice, practice, practice. A professional never leaves their weapons far from reach. But you can't play the piano with all this junk on top of it. Oh, no one plays here anyway. And the neighbors complain. I guess Mr. Wright really can't play. What's this? Whoa, that fork is floating. Not. Why do you have a plate of plastic spaghetti here? That right there is the whole reason I became a magician. Do tell. I saw a plate just like that in a restaurant once. The floating fork looked so real. That's when I knew. Someday, I'd make magic more amazing than that spaghetti. Okay. Alright, so... Oh, it's under the hat, that's right. So this must be the silk top hat Mr. Wright mentioned? Let's take a closer look. Huh? Whoa! You know what this is, Trucy? I remember finding some in Daddy's dresser when I was little. I thought it was sugar, so I licked it. He got mad at me. This is getting more and more suspicious. White powder. Mysterious white powder with the alleged ability to improve Detective Sky's mood. Let's go talk to that detective. She's sure to know what that white powder is. Yep. Okay, let's go. So we're going to the Kentucky Mansion, and then we're going to go to People Park. Here you go. Does this ring any bells? Oh, is that... It couldn't... Where'd you get that? I brought it from the office. You work at the Wright & Co. law offices, yes? Yeah, sort of. Detective Sky, how do you know my daddy? Daddy? I'm sorry, who did you say you were? Trucy Wright, Phoenix Wright's daughter. What? Mr. Wright has a daughter? You seem shocked. Well, if you're Mr. Wright's daughter and you're his apprentice, then I'm available to help you in any way I can. Oh, thanks. You can start by not calling me Mr. Wright's apprentice. This powder is used for detecting fingerprints. Fingerprints? I guess you might call it a memento from the time I spent with Mr. Wright. White powder memories. If you find any evidence with fingerprints on it, please let me know. We'll dust it for prints. Well, she's quite the eager beaver all of a sudden. The cell phone. Sorry, I don't think I can help you with that. I think you need more than just scientific help. But ask me anything you like. Just ask scientifically. Okay. The case. The report came in late last night. The body was found much as you see it now. Except it was a real body. But why? Why was a body pulling a noodle stand? If I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't still be here. Well, what was the cause of death? A bullet wound to the temple. He was shot by a pistol. A pistol? Not the easiest thing to come by in this day and age. Unless you're a cop or a gangster. Incidentally, the victim's name was Pal Maractus. I just received the autopsy report, in fact. Wait, Pal Maractus? Malpractice? Nice. Maractus's autopsy report. Time of death, June 14th after 10 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet to the right temple. Okay. I mean, really, what's up with this case? It's enough to make me want to run off, pulling a mysterious noodle stand behind me. Not so mysterious, actually. We should tell her, Apollo. After all, we know where the stand came from. A likely story. I didn't come here to play games, you know. Actually, we do know where the noodle stand came from. The noodle stand's owner is Guy Eldoon, yeah. Who's the all guy? This is the proprietor of Eldoon's Noodles, Mr. Eldoon himself. He's famous in this part of town. Not bad. I guess Mr. Wright picked the right kids for the job. That saved me a lot of work, thanks. Noodle stand added to the court record. Mr. Eldoon's noodle stand, the victim died pulling it. Interesting. What sort of person was the victim anyway? You mean what did he do? He was a doctor. A doctor? I'm starting to see a connection here. Your story. Who, me? I'm just a supervisor for this crime scene. Detective Sky, I was out of the country for a while. I came back to be a forensic scientist. Oh, were you studying abroad? Something like that. I was studying in Europe. Forensic sciences, mind you. But when I got back here, they threw me in criminal affairs, just like that. Why didn't you just become a forensics expert in Europe? Well, I suppose that was an option, but I had a lot of favors to repay to people back here. Favors? Wasn't she in high school when she left? What? What's that look for? I was involved in a incident before I left. But Mr. Wright and his people helped me out. I owe them. Really? I had no idea. If she's been out of the country for a while, she probably doesn't know about Mr. Wright's current state of affairs. The defendant. Could you tell us a bit about the defendant? He's the only son of the Kitaki family, yes? Waki Kitaki. I don't know if he is the boss's son, but he's certainly throwing his weight around violently in the detention center. I see. Why was he arrested in the first place? You are a defense attorney, aren't you? You're not his, by any chance. Actually, yes, I am. Well, we have a witness to the moment of the crime. Huh? The witness called the police. They'll be testifying during the trial tomorrow. What? The victim. Could you tell us a bit more about the victim? Well, let's see. Apparently he's the physician at a clinic in the area. Quite well off, too, from the sound of it. The clinic's name is the Maractus Clinic. Maybe that's why the cop car was parked there. What? You've been to the clinic? Yeah, though on a related issue. I told the detective about the case of the stolen noodle stand. I see. So that means Dr. Maractus stole the stand and pulled it all the way here? That would seem to be the case. But why? Don't ask me. Alright. Is that it? Mr. Eldoon's stand. Let's look at the stand. This is like the, what was it? I can't remember what the name of it is, but the case in Great Ace Attorney where you look at the carriage, the hansom cab, where the murder happened. Omnibus, that's what it was. Huh? Look at this, Apollo. Mr. Eldoon spelled his name backwards on this side. I think that says noodle. As in Eldoon's Noodles. Huh? Oh, I get it! So the name of his store is the same whether you read it forward or backwards. Yeah, I guess it would be. Well, except for the last S. Then how about a store called Team Meat? Close, but that would be tame mate backwards, and what kind of store is that? Why, a store that sells meat. It's not meat unless it's team meat. All right, that's it for this. I wonder if he's back yet. Otherwise, we can go to the detention center. He is not back. So let's go to Write Anything and then go to the detention center. June 15th, detention center, visitor's room. Polly, you look as happy as a clam in its shell. For a lawyer, this is it. The place where battle begins. You need something? Yes, we're attorneys. I was hoping we could see Mr. Walkie Kitaki. Sorry, he's in questioning right now. Could take a while. Drat. Oh well, I guess we'll have to come back later then. So much for that battle. Okay. So not yet. Let's go back to the Hickfield Clinic. Is there anything we can talk to Phoenix about? Nope. Okay. Let's pop, I guess, the Kitaki Mansion, and we could go back to the scene of the crime and investigate more. There is stuff to look at. So why is there a knife there? It's a knife. A shiv, to be precise. Oh, lingo! The defendant, Waki Kitaki, is the son of known gangsters. The police are assuming this belongs to him. You know, it's one of those Japanese shivs for these very American mafioso types. Definitely not Yakuza. Wait, but wasn't the murder weapon a pistol? Huh? Look at this. There's a handprint on this shiv. A handprint? Then there might be fingerprints. Let's investigate. Right. First, choose the fingerprint you want to examine. Choose a fingerprint? Look closely at the handle. See, there's more than one fingerprint there. Those black spots? That's right. Pick the one you want to analyze. Well, the strongest one, obviously. Right, let's get detecting. Wow, she's practically glowing with excitement. First, sprinkle some aluminum powder over the print with a press of the spacebar, like this, see? The oil left by the print absorbs the aluminum powder, so you just dust it on. And blow it off. Blow? It's like whistling. You know how to whistle, don't you? Use the R key. Wow, amazing! It's like magic. And of course, you know, in the original DS version of this, the DS had a microphone, and you were supposed to literally blow into it to get the dust off. Isn't it, though? Right, let's give it a shot. Incidentally, it's important that you cover the entire fingerprint with the powder. Right. Alright, well, let's get to dusting. And then we'll blow. Ooh, nice. Good. Clear. Quite impressive. Next, to match the print. The police office has samples, so you can tell whose finger this print belongs to. That doesn't sound like as much fun as actually finding the print. Okay. Okay, pick the person whose print you think this is. You probably have a good idea whose knife this is already. Is it Waki Kitaki? Yeah, that looks pretty close. Comparing. Match found, yep. So the fingerprints do belong to the defendant. Yes. Isn't it amazing? The power of science. It's my life. Apollo, she's sparkling. And I'm dimming. Look sharp. Spirits up. The real fight is yet to come. Chin up, Polly. The trial hasn't even started and I'm already losing. All right. Found at the crime scene bearing Waki's footprints. Or Prince footprints. Why did I say that? All right. Examine. What else we got? Blue tarps have been placed on the ground around the stand. Apollo, I bet the victim was gonna have a picnic here. I guess he could have eaten all the noodles he wanted. Don't touch those. Those are preserving the crime scene. Oh, I guess the police put those tarps here after all. The bucket. And this is Mr. Eldoon's noodle stand, obviously. It does say Eldoon in big letters, doesn't it? And that mark on his paper lantern there looks familiar. It's gonna be a little weird telling him what with the corpse and all. Anyway, that wraps up 3 of our cases. That's right! Congratulations, Apollo! And leaves us with one case that's worse than all 3 put together. Murder. This mannequin is dressed up to look like a police officer. I've seen one at the station. A mannequin in place of a body. The body of the victim has already been removed. Do you think the victim was the noodle stand thief? What, you think someone killed him because he stole it? Yeah! Taking care of business. Little Plum Kitaki style. Try not to sound too eager about that, please. I don't know about that. Garbage can. There's got to be a good clue or 2 around here. You and your trash cans. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Please, can you see I'm doing my... Huh? Look! Another pair of underwear! Wow, Apollo, you're a genius at finding panties. Stop saying that! Wait, these aren't... They're not mine! Could these have been stolen too? Bloomers added to the court record. Okay. So, have you met the defendant? No. Visiting hours are almost over at the detention center. You might think about wrapping up here and heading over. Good idea. I don't know what good it will do. We have a witness and a knife with prints. Have I mentioned I've got a bad feeling about this? Don't worry, it's like a right tradition. Some traditions I can live without. All right, well, let's get out of here then. She's not here to tell. Can we talk to Eldoon yet? Is he back? No. Weird. I guess we gotta go to the detention center. June 15th, detention center, visitors room. I'm sorry, meeting hours for the day are all done. But we still have 3 minutes. I'll put you in your request, but don't expect anything. The father's talking in the private room with him. The father? You mean like a priest? I mean the suspect's father, Mr. Winfred Big Wins Kitaki himself. Big Wins? Not someone I'd care to meet. Die, you... You're the one on your way out, old... Oh, they're here. Whoa! This guy radiates power. Power? With a cute apron? You Walkie's lawyer? Yes, sir. Well, I'm Big Wins Kitaki. 4th head of the Kitaki family. Capiche? Actually, I came to speak to your son. Mr. Justice. Yes? My son is innocent. He killed no one. If he were found guilty, it wouldn't be good. Capiche? Yes, I'm all about capiching. Capiching loud and clear. You got to do more than just understand to make it. You'll learn, though. Even if the lesson comes at the end of your short life. I don't feel so good. What's the big idea, old man? You can't treat me like a kid no more. Not now. You know, I wanted to go to the clink. I like it here. You must be Walkie? A G's not a G till he does hard time, bizoy. You'll see. When I get out of here, things will change. Silence. My apologies, Mr. Justice. He's usually such a nice boy. Forgive me if I have a hard time believing that. You can't take me under your wing this time, old man. You heard me? I don't need no trial. I did it. I think that's enough for the day, Mr. Justice. Don't let me down tomorrow. So much for talking to our client. But we made so much progress today. We even found my panties. I had fun, at least. Of course, the biggest mystery of all remains. How am I supposed to build a case for the trial? Oh, almost forgot. It's time for my show. Tonight I'm performing at the Wonder Bar. You should come check it out. To be continued. All right. Cool. I'm going to take a very quick break, and then we're going to commence with the first trial segment of this case. All right, let's get going. Continue to the next chapter. June 16th, 9:46 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy. Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice! I started my voice training at 5 this morning. Oh, do some now. I want to see. Here. Huh? Oh, okay. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! It sounds more like a self-mantra than voice training. I'm fine, you know what I'm saying? Good morning. Yo, sup? Hit me with the guilty verdict, G. See if I care. You just hang loose and let things go with the flow, you know what I'm saying? Not really. Lucky. Don't be running your mouth like that in here. See, that's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some time in the pen. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Sounds like they've both been voice training too, Apollo. My worst fear is realized. Trial's starting and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. June 16th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 4.
Court is now in session for the trial of Waki Kitaki.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready to rock and roll, head judge. Oh, it's him, the guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor? It's Mr. Gavin's brother.
A long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Were you taking a leave of absence?
You know that little band I started in my free time? Well, the thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, yeah?
I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial.
Not to worry, Herr Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, yeah? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength? The little boy who bested my brother. It was worth canceling a show or two.
Understood. You may give your opening statements to the court.
Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious?
It is a court of law.
That's no way to get the crowd jumping here, Judge.
They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom.
A tongue, baby. Today we play it my way. What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get up in order to get down. To prosecuting. This is crazy. The victim, Pal Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand.
What in the world was a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand?
Yes, I believe you will only find that out by asking the defendant right here, right now. Because it's an undeniable truth that he shot the victim. What do you mean, undeniable? If you're to glare at anyone, Head Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. His crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see.
Very well. Please admit this witness to the court.
Nine. Not yet. First, there's a little matter to be cleaned up. Could you talk without the accompaniment? I swear I could see the guitar for a second.
What is it, Prosecutor Gavin?
The motive, Herr Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic?
Not so fast.
The defendant doesn't have to explain that. Oh? But what if the defendant specifically requests to do so, as he did this morning? I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said.
What?
What is right? They always say that on stage, you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly?
Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. So you, son, the defendant, Waki, are you?
I ain't your son, old man. You step to a Kitaki, you best be prepared to step strong. You step to a public official, you'd best be prepared to step into jail. You gotta hand it to him. Waki sure has guts. It's not his guts I'm worried about.
Well then, the court will now hear the testimony on the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself.
Witness testimony. Waki Kitaki's truth. I'll tell you one thing. That doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later. Bye. So I gotta go in, get another doctor patching me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG is gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying? Wait, went to his pad.
Oh, you're saying you were one of the victim's patients?
A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street, through that. I'll tell you one thing. That doc was whack.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all this. Have we found a new worst defendant? One thing, the doctor was a quacker, okay? First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor.
Who asked you, pointy locks? Just who do you think you are?
You're a lawyer?
Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple.
Someone had to show him what's what, okay? By someone, you mean... Was there anyone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you, I mean?
You better ask somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made up my own mind and did what had to be done, straight gangster style. But why were you so mad at this doctor?
Yo, sit back and listen while I drop it, G-Man. The clinic bought half a year ago, messed up me up, okay? So you were a patient at the Maractus Clinic half a year ago? For what reason?
I had what you might call a mark of honor.
Can you explain precisely what was wrong?
We had a little run-in with the Rivalis family. That's when I pulled a jack move. And ran into an ambush. G busted a cap right in me.
According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting and ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time by yourself.
Hey, I was more than a match for those guys. So you were carried to the Maractus Clinic from there?
Apparently, he was shot in the heart. Shot in the heart and he's still alive? I can catch bullets between my teeth, but I never learned how to catch them with my heart.
The bullet stopped just short of my thumper, you know what I'm saying? I would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet.
So, as you say, the surgery was a failure.
That ain't all of it, Holmes.
And then he just lets me go without a word. Okay? What do you mean he just lets you go without a word?
What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad.
It sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. And that is why he let the defendant go.
He's a liar, straight up. He's a better G than me.
Gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up. So this bullet is still...
You know it. I can still feel it. Right there in my chest, pressing up against my heart.
I'm finally here and have no idea what's going... Hey, that's fine. Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles.
Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice. Word, J-Man. Weren't no accident, that's for shizzle. It seems that there were issues with this doctor. Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor.
Walkie, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo. Back straight.
But why did this mistake only come to light that day?
It was found during the family health checkup.
The family checkup? That was the wackest thing of all. All us G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away, bizoy.
Relief to hear.
Eh? What's a relief?
Oh, did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you.
What?
Yes, Herr Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life.
No way! That's whacked!
There is proof. Your checkup report. Walkie's checkup report. Okay. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started.
Started?
We've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness. Walkie sure is quiet all of a sudden. I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy? So, you will tell us your name and occupation.
My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation, I take it you mean profit society at large and supports a livelihood, under which definition I must confess to being unemployed. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of identity, which is commonly attached to this notion of occupation, and once we have accepted this reality, we see that our confusion is not gestalt per se, but derives instead from the vagueness inherent in all representations of the... By which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honoring my... Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at our hand today. Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime. You ask quite simplistically what I saw. However, we must understand that Homo sapiens possess two eyes, each of these designed to receive and interpret data, sending images in the form of signals to the... Witness testimony. Here we go. A night in the park. That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand, he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot! The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Was there anyone else in the park at the time? I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this. The court accepts this into evidence. Pistol added to the court record. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness. Yes, Your Honor. Trucy? Why are you staring like that at the witness? Oh, that man. I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before. Hmm? Alright, night in the park. Can I look at the autopsy report again? Single bullet to the right temple. So he did say he was shot in the head. That would make sense. And I saw that, okay? On the way home from shopping, you say? Why go through the park? A fascinating inquiry, revealing me capable of being insufficiently verbose. Let us consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes, 24 seconds to complete one stretch. Ergo, the time to complete 2 on average is 6 minutes. However, in the case that the questions are in the verbal category, admittedly, that's enough. Enough. I get the idea. Mr. Justice, the court hopes to finish cross-examination sometime this month. Please. I have a recording booked after this trial. And I've got a show to perform. Gee, sorry you're all so busy. One man pulling a stand, another man facing. Were those men talking by any chance? Oh, now that you mention it, they were, though I cannot claim I heard them clearly. Only fragments, such as, you lied to me. Oh, and I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine, pal. It's just as our defendant claims. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet in the heart. If that's true, then this is a vital piece of testimony. Sounds like you heard them clearly enough to me. Might I be allowed to amend my testimony? What now? To be precise, he did not say pal, but man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear it on my diploma. What's with the difference? And this other man, who was he? Quite clearly, the man facing the victim was the defendant. Okay. How can you be so sure it was the defendant? The crime took place at night. It would have been too dark. Perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning this earlier. Huh? You see, in class, I always sit in the very backmost seat. Do you know why? Who cares? Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes. And this relates to your testimony how?
I mention this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say, yet there were lights in the park. If I say the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is a hard, immutable fact. He sure is confident. He seems to be telling the truth, too. In his hand, the pistol pointed at the man at the stand, okay? Are you sure the pistol you saw is the same as the one just submitted as evidence? Am I sure? Surely you jest. Also a common witness would be tempted to say. Huh? Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but the logical structure governing these events. First, we must consider the fact that it was night in the park, which indeed restricted my field of vision due to insufficient levels of illumination. Now, if we consider that the pistol, let us call it Object A, was indeed shrouded in darkness, it becomes difficult to say which certainty that Object A was indeed Object A. I think he means he couldn't see it that clearly. My badge for a normal witness. Yet the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Are you absolutely certain only one shot was fired? Yes, of course it was one shot. Why, do you ask? A contradiction, finally. Mr. Stickler, according to the court record, this pistol was fired twice. A clear contradiction. Good eyes there, Justice. You're cool. Real cool. Huh? You really think so? Yeah, there is no reason why the other shot had to have been fired that night. Meaning? Well, this pistol came from the Kitaki family mansion, yeah? I think it's not unreasonable to assume the pistol had been fired once before that night. During, perhaps, another altercation? He's got a point. Judging from his smug expression, I'd say Prosecutor Gavin had that answer ready before he even spotted the problem. He seems pretty confident in his testimony. We always make the biggest mistakes when we're our most confident. He's got a weak point somewhere, Apollo. Find it. Right. Better give that testimony another listen. Okay. Pass through. Wait. In his hand, yes, it was pointing at the man pulling the stand. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Okay. Result from a checkup, metallic. Okay. So he was pulling the noodle stand and he got shot. There was also a knife there that had his fingerprints on it. The fingerprints on the pistol were wiped. Got it. Let's see. Single bullet to the right temple. Hang on, if he was shot in the right temple, he wouldn't be shot square in the forehead, right? Objection! Yes, got it. Whew, if that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you? Relaxing, I see. Hey, Justice? Objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice. Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet. Right. Look at this. The autopsy report? Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right, a problem. Problem. Yes! The problem is the location of the entry wound. The location? You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, didn't you? I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometrical absolute. What I mean by this, for example, the deflection of a meter is 1/10 times the wavelength of the light limited by a krypton particle, as we all know. In addition, it is a well-known fact that krypton particles are rare and invisible to the naked eye, which point to a basic fallacy in your line of reasoning. Mr. Justice! Yes? Was your objection to these, krypton particle things? This is the big time. And you're obsessed with something so small? You disappoint me. No, I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's bigger, less nitpicky problem here.
Do tell.
Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple. Temple? Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. There's a contradiction. Isn't it? It is, right? Finally. Air Justice. Oh, Air Justice. Yes? Your tactics are outdated. Trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. Phoenix Wright, was it? Huh? Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to this testimony. Hey, hair forehead. Huh? Forehead? Let's imagine you're walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, hair forehead? Well, I guess I would try to stop them. I'd probably shout stop. And you, Fräulein? Me? Well, I'd probably scream eek! And you, Herr Stickler, what did you shout, I wonder? Ah! If the victim turned his head at the last moment. Yes, thank you for jogging my memory.
It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required.
A Night in the Park 2. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, he took action.
Cease this at once, you two!
I cried, with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
Oh boy. I see. So you attempted to stop the crime.
Indeed, with composure. Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it? Stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of that nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report.
That does seem to be the case.
Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness.
Hey, he goes to Ivy University, which is where Phoenix went. Right in the park, too. Okay. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. So you saw a raised pistol. Weren't you frightened? It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action.
That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot.
Eh? You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind. Oh! He actually looks like he had no idea he was in danger. Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed. Cease this. Cried it with composure. Got it. Are you sure both men were able to hear your voice? They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park, and the victim responded to the clarion call. Quite. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Okay? Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned? Indeed. I would say about the same time, to be precise. And the victim didn't ask you for help? It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step. I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Don't say that too loud, Trucy, please. Cowardly killer appeared to have become frightened, okay? Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly? He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed. He simply couldn't believe what he had done. He shot, he panicked, a common tale but true. Unfortunately, before I could take further action, tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. Okay. You didn't try to apprehend the criminal? It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time. Wasn't something about that strike you was odd, Apollo? What? Well, the killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away? According to the testimony, that is what happened, yes. Well, in that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't find. Find something? Find what? I like that contradiction. Kind of sad to see it go. Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now? Well, at least the testimony is getting a little clearer. She's right. Maybe I can find something to use in this new testimony. Well, here's the thing, right? Tossing the pistol aside, we found a knife that had his fingerprints on it. Weapon left at the crime. What about the knife? Is that the contradiction? No, it's not. Okay. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement?
I'm not sure I follow you.
It clearly contradicts the... I thought...
You don't sound very sure, Mr. Justice. Objection overruled.
Okay. That's not it. Well, let me think here. Like, so here's, like, my thought. Let's see. He's got... Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. The other weird thing is that the noodle stand doesn't have a bullet hole in it anywhere. That is odd to me. But I don't... Let's pop back here and look. I mean, is it as simple as... Let's see. Whereupon our killer appeared to have become frightened. The victim turned in the direction of my voice and a shot rang out. I can see that. Right. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. Up and left at the crime scene. We didn't see that pistol. It was nowhere near... Because, let's see, Emma had everything set up on the crime scene as it was. I did not see that pistol there. That's the only thing I can think of. Because the knife wasn't right. I don't know if the noodle stand is right, because there's no bullet hole in it. That's an interesting fact. Let's try the pistol. Oh, we got it. Nice. Wait a second. Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse. You can't see how it affects you. Come again? Wait a second, you say. A second? Well, we intended to wait just that. A single second. 1/60th of a minute. That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes, 35 seconds...
Mr. Justice!
Yes, Your Honor?
Am I to understand you are objecting to the length of a second?
Yes, I mean, no! Here, just... look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. A common ploy, made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. Oh! Ah, the little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little. Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fräulein? Huh? What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? Gotta admit, I didn't think about that, Apollo.
Well, Mr. Justice?
Could the killer have been wearing gloves? No. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were white, which means some trace of prints remains, which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol. That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. And the pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, Herr Forehead, any of your precious objections? What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said? Huh? Isn't what obvious? When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Walkie drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Walkie threw away. That's what I was trying to present earlier. I get it. You're right. He's just confused because a pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong. Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. It is indeed true that once in my youth I wrote a love letter that was seized by the teacher and posted on the blackboard for all to see, and for this the appellation poor might be affixed to my name. Yet at this issue it had...
What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this?
Well, if what he threw wasn't a pistol, well then it had to be something else. At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking. I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin.
Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else? What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene?
That's easy, it's the knife.
Is that a sword? I saw one of those on the late night movie last night.
Great, a sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime with the defendant's prints on it.
His prints?
This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, that the defendant wasn't wearing gloves.
Indeed.
Oh, Herr Forehead, you're forgetting two other things that you've just proven.
Huh?
One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Walkie Kitaki. Two, that the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim.
Oh! Indeed!
Oh, never underestimate a Gavin is the lesson here.
This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please.
It is always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming, yes, that's what I said. Assuming. If that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are, assuming that my assumption is no better.
What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired.
Witness testimony. From shot to call. Let's see. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Eh? Why didn't you chase the killer? He was, as you say, a killer. Of course, I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than an aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that. Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? And do we not also know that there was no one else there. It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not?
Does it not, Mr. Justice?
I better find a way to take this testimony down quick. Cross-examination. From shot to call. Could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Which way did the killer run? By that time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran in the opposite direction. That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kitaki mansion. Actum! Don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight. How did he know that's where I was going? Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. You were certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing. If one is to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood, nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that one drops one's flask upon the lab room floor. Oh, cool answer. Very cool. So nothing strange about how he acted. Trucy looks like she has something to say. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Okay. Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance? It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there was no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, a perfect syllogism. A proof in 3 parts. Exquisite. Simply exquisite. He actually looks like he's gonna cry. Till the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Okay. Can you tell us in detail about those 10 minutes? I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could have happened at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction. Is that all? No one came. Nothing happened at all. I saw it all, which is to say, I saw nothing.
It was late at night. It's not odd to think there would be a few people around in the park.
So we just stood there watching? Not much to go on there. Trucy, if you've got something to say, by all means, just say it. Ugh, I can't find a single problem with that testimony. Had enough at last, Hair Forehead. Maybe it's time to back off a bit. Should we back off a bit? Yeah, I mean, going around and around. Yeah, let's. There's nothing fishy about that testimony at all.
It appears there are no objection to the witness's current testimony.
There are a number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion. No! No!
It seems we've come to the end of the line here.
No, that can't be all. How unfortunate. It seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you, Hair Forehead?
I believe this brings the cross-examination to a close. This court will now declare a verdict for the defendant, Waki Kitaki.
Eek! Trucy!
Nobody move. What's the meaning of this? Who are you?
There'll be no verdict in this court. Not yet. Wait, are you one of the Kitakis?
The Kitakis? You mean the notorious gangsters?
If you don't want to see me give the pretty little girl a new smile, do as I say. Adjourn the court for 20 minutes.
What? This court will not bow to pressure from the likes of...
Head Judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman.
Recess, 20 minutes or I promise you'll regret it.
Wait! How did he disappear so fast? Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo.
I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man!
To be continued. All right. All right. Let's keep going. June 16th, 11:17 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Trucy! Trucy! You move quick, Apollo. Good show, good show. Trucy, you're okay. I thought... Don't cry, Apollo. Those good-for-nothing gangsters. There are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Wait, just calm down, Apollo. Or else...
What the heck is that?
Surprised? This is one of my best tricks. The amazing Mr. Hat.
You look marvelous, darling.
He's a big hit on stage at the Wonder Bar.
Yes, I am a big hit.
Well, what do you think? Do you like it?
You mean you... Trucy, there are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges.
Apollo, now is not the time to be threatening me. It's you who's being threatened here. Huh? Remember what you said to Waki's father yesterday? You promised you'd save his son.
But that testimony was rock solid. What are you suggesting I do?
Look, once the judge declares a verdict, it's all over. If I can use my talent to stop that from happening, I will.
Trucy, no more stage abductions, please.
I'm not talking about magic, Apollo. I know when the witness isn't confident. I can perceive what he's feeling. It might not mean anything, but it's all we've got. You can see what he's feeling? Think back, Apollo. Think back to the times when there was a contradiction in his testimony. All the times. All the times there was a contradiction? Well, I think I remember them, sure. There were 2 times when he made statements he wasn't confident in. And each time there was a contradiction. It's a hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man. On the side, he fled from the scene. He said the man tossed aside a pistol, but it turned out he wasn't sure, and sure enough, there was a contradiction. Well, that's true, but how does that help us? Didn't you notice anything? Whenever he made a statement he wasn't confident in, he displayed a certain habit. He was looking at his book, and looking at the side. Yeah. Did you see it? The very moment he said the word pistol, his fingers got all tense, and he fiddled with the corner of a page in his book.
How am I supposed to see that?
Well, I could see it. How else do you think Daddy went 7 years without losing a game of poker? What? I always sat next to Daddy during big matches. I could see what his opponents were feeling. You mean that's how Mr. Wright won all those games? It's not cheating officially. I wasn't looking at their hands or anything. And I wasn't there all the time either. Daddy's quite good at poker after all. But not good enough to go undefeated that long. Great, so he cheated. But what does that do for us? I don't believe this. You have to listen to his testimony one more time. No, scratch that. You have to watch his testimony. Perceive the truth. Watch a testimony? Perceive the truth? The only thing I'm perceiving is that I'm gonna lose. Not true. Huh? Daddy said so. He said you have the power, Apollo. Mr. Wright said that? Watch the testimony. Perceive his true feelings. Is she serious? Time's up. Sorry. I can't think of any other way out of this one, Apollo. What was that she said before the trial started? Huh? Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy. Is this what he meant by us being fine? Well, methods aside, she did avoid one guilty verdict already today. Time to show this court what I'm made of. Get ready for justice! Let's do it. Apollo, you know, I'm starting to think I can do this. I knew you could do it all along. Oh, one more thing. Huh? Try to cover for Mr. Hat as best you can.
I just flew in from the coast, and boy, are my arms tired.
Right. All right, June 16th, 11:40 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4.
Court is now back in session.
Right, we're fine.
Ahem. I'd like to say to the young lady standing next to you, Mr. Justice.
Oh, you mean me?
Don't you have anything to report? Anything concerning the mysterious phantom in the silk top hat?
Right, him. Don't worry about him. I settled that.
You settled that?
Yes, it was, out of court settlement. Right. Perhaps Fräulein would have us believe it was nothing more than a passing dream. A fantastic illusion. Now you see it, now you don't. Am I right? I think he's on to me. I wish he would stop being so cool. Let us dispense with these niceties and get straight to the matter. What are your plans for our gifted witness? Right, the defense would like to request another cross-examination. Because I forgot to ask something.
There was no issue with the witness's previous testimony. I will grant your request, however, but this court will not permit stalling for time.
Understood, Your Honor. Don't forget, Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book. Okay. I'm shot to call. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Aha! He is fiddling with the book. Till the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Alright. So he used his cell phone. I'm not sure I'm qualified to watch testimonies after all. Focus, Apollo. Find his weak spot. Focus? If only it were that easy. My ears hear what he says. My eyes see his expression. Do I have to do something more? What other senses do I have? What's this? My bracelet. What's going on? My bracelet feels different somehow. I think Daddy was right. You can see it, can't you, Apollo? You're almost there. Find the weak spot in his testimony. I know this sounds crazy, but my bracelet is trying to tell me something. Okay. Cross-examination. I'm shot to call. Could not prevent the killer. So it's... here. Ergo, I used... okay. Press. So, you called immediately after witnessing the murder? The police undoubtedly have a record of the call. Why not check with them? Wait, Apollo. This has to be it. Wait, you mean his habit? Alright, don't forget, when he isn't sure, he has a habit of fiddling with his book. Right. The only time he even had the book open was here. Which means this is the place to look for his habit. I don't know how I know, but I know. Know what? It's my bracelet. It's different somehow. I can feel it reacting to something about the witness. Your bracelet? I'm not sure how I get this focus stuff you're talking about, Trucy, but I have a feeling that trusting my bracelet is the way to go. Okay, I just need to touch my bracelet with R as it reacts to his testimony. Alright, here we go. What's going on? I can see the witness's face, his expression so clearly. It's filling my mind. I can see nothing else, hear nothing else. Apollo? Trucy, what's happening to me? This is what I mean by focusing. Focusing? In this state, you can see everything, Apollo. Everything the witness does. That's great, but this is kind of freaking me out. Just look for Mr. Stickley's twitch, his habit. You remember it, right? Sure, but when he says something he's not sure about, he fiddles with a page of his book. You got it. Right now, you're looking at the witness's face, and your eyes are sort of bugging out. I'll bet they are. Now first, move your focus of attention down to Mr. Stickler's hand. His hand? You know what to look for now, but you have to be looking at the right place. She's right. I can only see his face like this. Time to try changing my viewpoint. Okay? Okay, so we can maneuver down. Perfect. Now you're really ready. Ready for what? Ready to perceive the truth behind the twitch. Perceive. Try listening to the witness talk as you focus. Then watch for his habit. Right. You mean when he fiddles with the page? That's right. That's your signal to look closer. To perceive with R. Find his weak spot, and I guarantee we'll be able to give him the royal flush. Spoken like a true pokerhead's daughter. I'm a magician, thank you very much. So I have to pay attention to his words and his fingers. Don't worry if you miss it. You can always try again. All right, look out, nervous twitch. Here comes justice. So ergo, I used my cell phone. Aha. Gotcha! To call the police. He's fiddling with the page. I saw it just now. I could see it.
Mr. Justice? Do you have something to say?
All this banging of desks is quite bad for my circulation, you know. Mr. Stickler, allow me to ask you a simple question. Why did you fiddle with the page of your book just now? The very moment you mentioned your cell phone. What are you talking about? I'm curious now about this cell phone of yours. Mind if I ask you a few questions? What to ask? What to ask? Has to see his phone. Mr. Stickler, please show me your cell phone. Why? Whatever for? Show me and you'll find out. Well, I can't. I don't have it, you see.
You don't have it?
Mr. Stickler, is this your cell phone? Yeah. Where did you get that? That's the phone from yesterday. Yep. They found it under the car. Car moved, would be crushed for sure. Yeah, I wonder if it belongs to the doctor. Nope. How strange, Mr. Stickler. Can you explain why your cell phone is sitting here in my hand at this very moment?
Wait a minute. What is the meaning of this?
This cell phone was found yesterday in the Maractus Clinic garage.
The Maractus? Why, that's where the victim lived.
Yeah, that's impossible. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court, didn't you? And your cell phone is here. How could you have called the police? It's true. I didn't have my cell phone that night. That is why it can be said that I called the police from a public payphone.
A payphone? So you didn't call on your cell phone after all?
Just where was this payphone located, Mr. Stickler? Well, to indicate with a startling high degree of accuracy, it was right around here.
That's quite a ways from the park. But why did you lie?
There can be only one reason. He didn't want the court to know he'd lost his cell phone, because it was found in the victim's garage. What are you saying? Mr. Stickler, you broke into the Maractus Clinic garage on the night of the murder. This cell phone tells all. But that's ridiculous. That makes it sound like I snuck into this fellow's garage to commit some crime, as though I were trying to kill him.
Well, Dr. Maractus was killed that night.
Well, yes, but no. This line of reasoning has to be against the rules. Yes, it's true. I lost my cell phone, but you can't prove that I lost it that night.
Well, Mr. Justice, if that cell phone was dropped the night of the murder, it does raise considerable suspicions as to a connection with the crime.
Now's your chance, Apollo. Connect Mr. Stickler to the crime. Oh, he's already connected enough. I just had to prove it. Well, do I have a piece of evidence that can do the job? Can I prove the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder? Do we have anything like that? Let's see. Let me think about. Is it the mirror? The fact that that was in the... I wonder if that's it. But yeah, let's show. Of course I have evidence. Oh, I like your swagger, forehead. Hit it.
The court will see this evidence, Mr. Justice. Hit it, as they say.
The evidence that proved the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder is... the mirror. Hopefully. We'll see.
That's a side view mirror?
As it so happens, Dr. Maractus's car was in an accident that took place the night of the murder.
An accident?
An accident. It happened a little after 9 p.m., just outside People Park, our murder scene. Dr. Maractus's car hit a pedestrian.
What are you trying to say?
From the absence of a mirror, it's clear that the car was parked after the accident, which means it was parked there after 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. If your cell phone had been dropped before the car was parked in that garage, then it would have been crushed. After all, it was lying on the ground right under the wheel. Ergo, Mr. Stickler, the only time you could have dropped this in that garage was after 9 p.m., the night of the murder in the park.
Whoa!
Mr. Stickler, you know what this means? You did break into the victim's garage that night.
This is most unexpected. Mr. Justice, are you naming the witness as a suspect in the murder of Pal Maractus?
No, stop! This is too much. This can't be happening. Prosecutor, say something. I suppose it is worth saying this. No connection has been found between Wesley Stickler and Pal Maractus. That is, other than this.
I believe our next testimony will be most revelatory. Is the witness prepared?
Yes, Your Honor. I know that face. That's the face of guilt. Witness testimony. Stickler's truth. That night, yes, I went to the supermarket. I must have dropped my cell phone on my way back. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand. All as clear as day. It was him. I saw the defendant at the scene.
Yes, but your cell phone was lying in a garage.
Yes, well, as you can see, my model of cell phone has a defect. It is given to rolling. It's quite a pain when I drop it alongside the road, you know?
Looks like a normal cell phone to me. In any case, Mr. Justice, cross-examination, please.
That's funny. My bracelet didn't react at all during that testimony. His nervous habit must not be acting up. I didn't sense anything either, actually. Looks like you're on your own this time around. Right, no problem. I hope.
Here comes justice!
Okay. That night, went to the supermarket. So you went shopping, which means you were holding a grocery bag when you witnessed the murder taking place.
Well, yes, of course.
Incidentally, prosecution has received no report of this domestic detail.
Mr. Stickler, can you explain yourself?
No, I mean, yes, I did go shopping. Really. I walked around the supermarket trying out the free samples. It's a deeply spiritual time for me.
I'm sure the store clerks would disagree.
Do you think sampling free food counts as a religion? In any case, that night, I sampled to my heart's content. It was on my way back home, yes. Must have dropped my cell phone on my way back. And that's when you passed in front of the Maractus Clinic? Why, yes, that's correct. That was a pretty suspicious pause there. Mr. Stickler, do you think you could be a bit more specific? Please show us the exact route you took on the night of the murder. Of course. The supermarket is here, along the main road. My way home from there takes me past the miraculous clinic. This is probably where I dropped my cell phone. Yet, well is it I walked on, unaware of my loss. And walked right into that fateful park. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime, okay? Which entrance did you enter the park from? Well, to be exact, one might say that I went in from the entrance closest to the miraculous clinic. The same entrance our victim used. Did you notice anything when you entered? Like wheel marks from a noodle stand, for instance? I have no recollection of such a thing, no. Yet, though I might have missed the tracks, I could not miss what happened next. I am a keen observer of the obvious, you might say. An observer of the obvious. The killer, the victim, the stand, all clear as day. Okay? This part of the testimony is the key, I know it. Should I press him about the killer, the victim, or the noodle stand? The stand. Do you happen to remember the noodle stand? Quite well, yes. For a student of the sciences, keen observation and healthy curiosity are vital. I remember everything. I could even read the sign. I believe it said, noodle. Yes, that was it.
Remembering something quite well, it sure took you a while to tell us. And thank you for telling us that a noodle stand sells noodles. Very enlightening. Well, Mr. Justice?
What about that sign?
It is important. It's important. They brought that up.
Because it says Eldunes Noodle. So from this side it says Eldunes. So here's the thing. If he's claiming to have seen the crime the way that he saw it, he would not be seeing it from this side. He would be seeing it from this side. If it said noodle, because it says noodle on this side, Eldunes on this side. So that is huge. It's very important. So the sign on the noodle stand said noodle. It appears the defense has just obtained a vital piece of testimony.
Is this noodle stand's broth really that delicious? I'll have to go sample the wares one of these days. I think that's worth adding to the testimony as well.
Whatever sort of noodles that stand sells, it can't match up to IVU's cafeteria. Some apply to the school merely for a taste of our smart noodles. I wouldn't mind a taste of that myself. Well, I even remember the sign was pulling, it said noodle. Yep. Hang on. We got a big one here. Boom. And you're absolutely sure the sign read noodle? Why, just last week, my professor offered me this praise. At least you have good eyesight, Stickler. I'll give you that. It read, without a doubt, noodle. I see. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Is that pity I see in your eyes? Well, let's take a look at our map, shall we? So you're claiming that when you saw the sign, you were standing here, was it? Although it would have been a bit hard to read the sign from this spot. You think so? Mr. Stickler, I'd like you to please take another look at the stand, and to carefully read what the sign says. See, the sign actually states the name of the stand's owner, Eldunes. Inconceivable. I'm certain it was definitely noodle for sure. Positive.
I'm afraid your professor was wrong about that eyesight.
I wouldn't be so quick to jump to that conclusion. The sign he saw changes everything. The witness says the sign said noodle. He saw it right. What would you say if I told you that there is one spot from which the sign would be read the way Mr. Stickler claims? What?
Mr. Justice, show us this spot.
The witness actually viewed the stand from this location. It would be from this side. Like right there. The witness was standing here, on the opposite side.
How do you know that?
When viewed from the south, the sign on the stand reads Eldunes, as we know. However, observe the other side of the stand.
Oh, this side says noodle.
Exactly. The name of the stand is split between the front and back signs. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court. You witnessed the crime from the northern side of the park, not the south. You got me. So what? So what? What does it matter if he saw the killing from the north or the south side? It makes no difference at all. He's right. Travel far enough to the south and you will end up going north. Viewed on a global scale, directions are utterly without meaning. Actually, maybe he's right. What does it change? It changes everything, Apollo. Trucy? Remember his testimony from before? Though to be honest, I'm a little scared of where this is leading. So he was... yeah. The killer and the victim are facing each other here. Then, at the moment the killer raises his weapon, Mr. Stickler shouts. At which point, the victim turns his head to look, and the killer fires his pistol. That's why the bullet hit him right in the temple.
Right.
No contradictions, right? Right, but if Mr. Stickler was standing on the north side of the park, that reverses the whole scenario. Completely. If Mr. Stickler shouts from where he is now, and the victim looks in his direction, the bullet would have to hit his left temple. Ah! Ah! In other words, someone standing at point K couldn't shoot the victim in his right temple. It's impossible.
That's right!
So now that we know that, Mr. Stickler was standing on the northern side, the wound location takes on an entirely different meaning.
Indeed. You're absolutely correct, Fräulein. What meaning?
The entire wound was on the right side of the victim's head, correct? Well, the right side of the victim's head is north.
North! Ah! But that's where the witness, Wesley Stickler, was standing.
Correct. So if he was standing to the north, then the only person here who could have shot the victim in the right temple was Mr. Stickler himself.
Yeah! Order! Order! Order!
Wow. The apple didn't fall far from the tree. She's flipped this whole case on its head while I was still figuring it out.
Clarify one point for me if you would, Herr Forehead.
What now?
Are you truly accusing this college student of murder?
Well, I can't say he exactly looks innocent, but something still doesn't feel right. I just can't picture him as the real killer.
No, please, look aside. I'm really a nice guy.
All my friends say so.
Well, let's hear what the defense has to say.
What are you gonna do now, Justice? Should I really accuse Mr. Stickler?
Hang on. I'm thinking here.
So I don't think he's the murderer. Do I have a map again? I wanna, hang on. What else did we, so we found his cell phone in the car, by the car. We found something else by the car too. And it was Trucy's panties. I think he's not the murderer, I think he's the panty thief. Yes, accused of another crime. I don't think Wesley Stickler is a killer, but he's not innocent either. His unusual silence tells me that much. Mr. Stickler, you seem unusually quiet. Tell us why, now.
The word confession isn't in my dictionary.
Herr Forehead. I'm afraid it falls to you to elucidate Herr Stickler's silence.
Mr. Justice, you did say you were accusing the witness just now for a crime other than murder. Your reason? The court's all ears.
I know he's guilty of something, but what crime other than murder is there? Do I have evidence that shows his involvement in some other crime?
Your evidence? The court's all eyes, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence that points to the witness's involvement in a crime.
The panties.
The evidence is this. What? Is that women's underwear?
Hey, those are mine.
Don't look at me like that! Order! 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 Mr. Stickler, while I can't say this comes as a shock, it's not what it seems. By Pythagorean theorem,
On the night of the murder, just past 9 p.m., a young girl catches a panty snatcher red-handed. Bravely, she gives chase, but the snatcher flees and hides himself in no other place than the Maractus Clinic garage.
Aha!
Incidentally, these panties were found in the exhaust pipe of the car there. Presumably, he was trying to hide the evidence of his crime. Ergo, while you may not be a murderer, you are guilty of panty snatching in the first degree.
Please, hear me out. It's not what it looks like. Order! Order! Mr. Stickler, you should be ashamed. It's not what it seems. So, are we to understand that you were silent not because you were guilty of murder, but because you lacked the courage to admit your theft of this girl's undergarments? Perhaps you're not aware that my school's name was originally written IV. I stands for intelligent. V stands for valiant, see? Your point? I'm not done. Now, I'm a major in the science department. And what does science teach if not curiosity? Yes, we of the IVU science department are valiantly curious. No challenge is too daunting. What greater challenge to science than a mystery?
Come on, you're talking about a girl's panties here.
No, you do not understand. A mystery is the unknown, and the unknown is acceptable. And my friends, when it comes to mysteries, those panties are the promised land. From the moment I first laid eyes on them, I was compelled to investigate. For science! The full-size car tire was only the first mystery those panties revealed. A tire? Yes, I saw her do it. She pulled a tire out of those panties. That's not all. First there was the tire, then a stew pot, and a frozen chicken. One mystery after another. It was magic.
Oh, I remember now. He's one of the regulars in the audience at the Wonder Bar.
Huh?
He's talking about my magic panties trick.
I just don't understand. A broom from a pair of panties that mocks the very laws of physics.
A broom and a frozen chicken, Tercy? Whatever happened to doves and bunny rabbits?
Mr. Stickler, you stole this girl's panties to understand a magic trick?
You say panties, but they are so much more than that. For me, they are an object for serious study.
I wonder. There has been a recent rash of panty snatchings in the area.
Were they all you?
I am sorry, but I did it for science. Each time I spied a pair of panties flapping in the breeze, I thought maybe this would be the pair that would elucidate the mystery. Even that night as she chased me through the streets, I wept tears of joy. Perhaps this is the night that I will seize the truth that lies within those panties. Yet what was I, for once again those lacy-hearted panties slipped through my fingers. Still, that leaves one thing unexplained.
Ah, you refer to our witness's other lie, yes?
The witness claimed he saw the crime from the south, but was in fact in the north. Indeed. Would anyone care to explain why he lied about that?
Be my guest, Hair Forehead.
Me?
Did I not hear you correctly? Did you not say you do not accuse the witness of murder? Why then did the witness lie about his location at the time of the shooting? Or have you no idea? Paulo, there's something about the way the diagram is arranged right now. when you think about it, right near where Mr. Stickler was standing, isn't there a...
Well, Mr. Justice, what say you? Do you have any evidence to show why the witness lied about his location?
Let's see. Wait a minute.
Oh!
Hang on. Hang on. So if he was... Okay. So the positioning here... Yeah. I get it now. So he saw that he had to go to the... Yeah. So he was coming this way and he witnessed the crime. Okay. So he got chased all the way down here and he came up through here. And... So the reason he lied and said he came in through this way and saw the murderer from this way is because... Wait a minute, hang on. Let me think about this. Yeah, I gotta remember what he said he did. Because here's my thought. My thought is, and I might just present this because I think this is right anyway, is the bloomers that we found in the trash can, yeah, the Kitaki, they belong to the Kitaki woman. We found that in the trash can in People Park, is that he didn't want to say that because that's where we found those and those were the wrong pair. And so he threw it away because it was not the right pair. I'm thinking that's why. We have plenty of options, so I'm going to present it. The evidence that shows why he lied, looks like it's right, is this.
What? More panties?
How many panties are you carrying in your pocket, Hair Forehead?
These are the last, honest.
These were found in a trash can at the park.
Looking at the diagram,
we can see that the trash can was right next to where the witness stood.
Mr. Stickler, you didn't.
Alas, I'm a failure as a scientist. I can't unravel the mysteries of the universe. I can't even unravel a pair of panties.
So, these panties are your handiwork as well?
That night, I had been chased, hounded into the Maractus Clinic garage. Weeping in frustration, I was forced to abandon my prize. Don't you see how I felt? Believe me, I'd rather not. I hid in the garage for a short while. Then, abandoning the panties, I made for home. To avoid the office where the girl works, I went towards the south entrance. When I saw them hanging there on the clothesline by a giant mansion. A giant pair of panties! Apparently he didn't know those bloomers belonged to the mob. I had them safe in my pocket, ready to take home, when I stumbled upon a murder. The murder of Dr. Maractus. I reported what I had seen, but as I waited for the police to arrive, I got scared. What if they searched me? That's when you disposed of the bloomers? Yes, it was a severe blow to the progress of science, but one that had to be borne.
A fascinating, if disturbing, tale. I believe this brings today's proceedings to a close, and I am more than pleased to dismiss this witness for the remainder of the trial.
One last thing, if I might.
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin?
Regardless of where we ended today, some vital points were made. Namely, that the defendant, Wakikitaki, was at the scene of the crime. And he was pointing a weapon at the victim. One more thing. Wakikitaki has a clear motive.
Indeed, the defendant, Wakikitaki, is still the prime suspect in this case. The only suspect, in fact. Assuming there was no one else on the scene at the time. Hello. Yet a mystery remains. The location of the wound in the victim's right temple is yet to be explained. The court requests further investigation from both the defense and prosecution.
Yeah, baby.
No problem. Very well. This brings the trial for the day to a close. Court is adjourned.
Oh, to be continued. No time even in the, Okay. Well, actually, this is a good stopping point, because we're going to get into investigation day 2 next. So, I think we will call it there, and we will continue next Saturday. All right. See you later.